Gary Paffett on the top step of the podium. Been a long while since he took a win in DTM, but did it in style yesterday. I spoke to him not long afterwards, but very, very happy with that win. What can Gary Paffett do today in qualifying to give himself the best possible position in the race? Well, we are about to find out. This short, sharp qualifying session, just 20 minutes. Champion René Rast, his car, the Audi number 33. Torrid time of it Audi had in the race yesterday. Fairness, in free practice today, or final free practice session of the weekend, Audi looked a little bit better. Here, confirmation then of the free practice 3. And René Rast was at P1 with Jamie Green P2. So the two Audis there looking good. Timo Glock, who also had a great time in the race yesterday, looking strong as well. Can't read too much into free practice, though, in terms of what's going to happen with qualifying and the race. But the cars are queuing up, waiting to get out on track. And right at the head of the queue, it is the BMW bank car of Bruno Spengler. So there, the all-yellow Timo Glock car and thousands of spectators in Hockenheim to enjoy the race action from DTM and the fantastic fan view area inside the paddock, which gives a great opportunity for the fans to see all the preparations going on in the Gary Paffett car at the moment. So the British driver Gary Paffett, a stalwart of the DTM, as Bruno Spengler is advised by his race engineer, 2 minutes. And there Mike Rockenfeller queued up behind Bruno Spengler. And Mike Rockenfeller was one of the first out in qualifying yesterday. René Rast and Jamie Green are just tempted to say relaxing in the garage, but that will not be the case. You can see the focus on René Rast, and Nico Muller also in the queue of cars awaiting the start of this qualifying session, which is 1 minute and 24 seconds away. So who will deliver what? Timo Glock will be hoping for a good performance. Track conditions, absolutely perfect. Weather conditions, beautiful, glorious sunshine. The focus, you can only imagine, on Timo Glock's face because his visor is down. The BMW M4 DTM driver Timo Glock, former Formula One star, of course, absolutely loving his time in the DTM and is ultra competitive. So 1 minute is the team radio message to Nico Muller. And Jamie Green standing by as well, the British star who had a torrid time of it in the race yesterday, finishing right at the back. But what can he do today? So cars begin to fire up, those that are remaining in the garages, because we are down to 25 seconds before the green light at the end of the pit lane allows the cars out on track for qualifying. Eduardo Mortara, I'm loving the livery across that Mercedes-Benz, the number 48 car of Eduardo Mortara. And again, the fans able to look on. Marco Wittmann in the number 11 BMW. And we have 1 second before the green light, and it goes on, and the session is underway. Let's go qualifying with DTM. So cars screaming out of the pit lane with 30% less aero than last year. They have to work ever harder in terms of trying to generate some drive some temperature into those tyres. It's a really short, sharp, dramatic qualifying. Philipp Eng, one of the rookies into DTM for this year, as the number 15 car of Augusto Farfus, just passing on the inside from that heli shot there. Another one of the rookies into DTM for this year, Joel Eriksson. And yesterday's race winner, Gary Paffett, then with the Mercedes fired up. There, the number 33 car of René Rast. Jamie Green making his way out of the garage right now. So we don't have a meaningful time yet to be able to give you from the timing chart. Marco Wittmann being told he can go.
Watch the white line.
And being advised to watch the white line as he accelerates now in the BMW. Oh, this is a fantastic onboard shot as he leaves the pit lane and accelerates hard into turn number 2. Two-time champion, of course, 2014, 2016, 75 DTM races, 20 podiums. Marco Wittmann, Augusto Farfus with new Hankook tyres going on right now. Have to wait before he can be released because of the Bruno Spengler car and also the Nico Muller car coming down the pit lane.
Coming from behind. Okay, second scrub.
So this team radio that we're able to bring you as well, which is completely live. Unlike some other racing series where team radio is delayed, we get it completely live in DTM.
New tires. You can do 3 flying laps.
3 flying laps, Timo Glock is told. And there, the number 5 car, Matthias Ekström, who of course later today will be taking part in his last DTM race. We thought that at this circuit, at the end of last year, it was Matthias Ekström's last race, but he has come back for this opening weekend to say cheerio to the fans properly by being out there in a DTM car. So the HWA team working hard into the garages. Matthias Ekström lights up the car and leaves the pit lane. And there, a great image of somebody who's been such a star in DTM for so long. As I mentioned in the program yesterday, I had the privilege of sitting down for very nearly 2 hours in conversation with Matthias Ekström, just about 10 days or so, and such a compelling character to talk to. So Paul Di Resta then gives us the first time to look at a 1:43.452 read. Nothing into that because Robin Frins and Daniel Juncker-Deyer have already beaten that by some measure, but at least it does give us something on which to base everything. So Danny Juncker-Deyer, a 1:40.950 is the quickest so far. As I say, the times will come significantly tumbling down as Eduardo Mortara already takes a huge chunk out of that with a 1:38.685, and then Pascal Wehrlein does exactly the same and does a 1:36.992. So at the moment we've got Wehrlein, Paffett, Mortara, Juncker-Deyer, the top 4, all Mercedes cars before we see the best of the Audis, which is Robin Frins. But you can see just how very quickly the qualifying gets away from us here because already we're into under 15 minutes of qualifying. So Paul Di Resta, better than anyone through Sector 1 and Sector 2. The pink graphics in the blocks to the left-hand side of your screen indicate if they are pink, he is best, fastest of anyone. If they are green, they are personal best. So Di Resta is on for a provisional P1 here. So as Paul Di Resta gets ready to break the timing beam, sure enough, a 1:32.957 from Paul Di Resta. So he goes to the top of the chart with Pascal Wehrlein, Gary Paffett, Jamie Green, Edo Mortara. Then it's Marco Wittmann and Daniel Juncker-Deyer, René Rast and Robin Frins and Lucas Auer, who is P10 at the moment. So Wehrlein then PB in Sector 1. Faster than anyone in Sector 2. Gary Paffett with 2 personal bests, as they will be, because really set a meaningful time yet. 1:32.957 is the fastest. It is from Paul de Resta, but now it's Pascal Wehrlein who goes to the top with a 1:32.885. 1:32.885 for Pascal Wehrlein. This qualifying session for DTM 2018 Race 2 here at Hockenheim. René Rast is one on a charge now. You can see we've got the ticker on René Rast at the bottom left-hand side of your screen. Let's go on board with René Rast now. He's done purple sectors, Sector 1 and Sector 2. René Rast, can he wrestle back some result for Audi, who had a torrid time of it in the race yesterday in qualifying? Now, this is René Rast with one more turn to do. He dials into that turn now. Back the foot on the accelerator through the floor as René Rast goes from P14 to P1, a 1:32.587. He's taken very nearly 3/10 out of the previous best time. So it's Rast, Wittmann, Wehrlein now. Wittmann sneaking in there with that P2 place at the moment with a 1:32.872. Here comes Lucas Auer. PBs in Sector 1 and Sector 2. Auer was P8. Can he improve? Lucas Auer breaks the beam now. And, well, lost it all in the last sector, really. Eduardo Mortara. He now goes to P4. So it's Rast from Juncadella, Wittmann and Mortara. This is Eduardo Mortara in the number 48 car. So Edo Mortara. Rast's 1:32.587. Daniel Juncadella's 1:32.858. So 3/10 between Rast and Juncadella. This is Nico Müller. And this in replay is Eduardo Mortara out onto the Astro, managing to get it back onto the tarmac. We're on board with Marco Wittmann now. His Sector 1 was not strong. Sector 2 was better. And he was P3 and does not improve. Bruno Spengler is under investigation for blocking. So Marco Wittmann on a hot lap now will try and improve.
I think we stay where we are.
So interesting to hear from Gary Pafford, who's there in P6 at the moment.
Limiting factor on the traction side mainly. So low, medium speed, combined traction. I need a slight pressure adjustment for that.
Okay, cool.
So Marco Wittmann on the team radio then. We're back on board with René Rast, who currently tops the table. And there is Bruno Spengler, who was under investigation. Is now going to be reported to the stewards of the race meeting for blocking. Haven't seen on screen where that blocking and who that blocking involved, but Spengler obviously is going to be looked at for that. So most of the drivers having done their first runs. We've only got 6 cars actually out there on track, and it's a very busy pit lane, as you can see, as drivers come back into the pit lane now before going out for a final flourish right at the end of the qualifying session. And it all gets really rather quiet out there on track. Who do we have on track? Well, just rounding the line now is Marco Wittmann breaking the timing beam. This is René Rast, who we're on board with, who's into the pit lane. And we have Nico Müller out on track. And we also have the number 28 car of Loic Duval. And other than Matthias Ekstrom, they are the only 3 that are out there. So René Rast then, champion 2017 with 3 pole positions. And the biggest haul of points, obviously, during last year. In his first full season, he's won the championship effectively as a rookie. René Rast brings the car into the garage. He's, at the moment, provisional P1 with that 1:32.587. There are still 9 minutes of the qualifying session remaining, so all the drivers we're expecting to go out once again in the final stages of this qualifying.
Release procedure, Bruno, will be like yesterday, so...
Well, that is the instant where Bruno Spengler was considered to be blocking. So 132.587 for Rennie Rast. At the moment, Gary Pavitt, yesterday's race winner, is P6. His best time, a 132.895. Here is Matthias Ekström, who, with the exception of Loic Duval, is the only car out there on track, and he dives into the pit lane now. Wonder what the emotions going through Eki are. Of course, final qualifying for DTM, final race for Eki, and thousands of fans have come to say farewell to Matthias Ekström from DTM. Although, for my money, pleasingly, during the conversation that we had, indicated that he may well, at some point, reconsider and might be back. Hope so. Timo Glock then awaits the order to return out on track for this qualifying session. He's currently P10 with a 133.010 for Timo Glock. So some great shots of the teams at work then. And wonderful, evocative slow-mos. As the teams who are so critical in terms of how they can really help and guide the drivers during the course of the race and indeed qualifying. Absolutely critical, and the fans look on inside the garages. Teams win and lose with the driver and go through the same emotions. Okay, here comes Philipp Eng then, and behind him is Bruno Spengler. So two BMWs making their way out onto the track with just 6 minutes or thereabouts of the qualifying session remaining. So two BMWs making out onto the 4.5 kilometer Hockenheim circuit to get their runs in now and to try and elevate themselves as far up the order as they possibly can. Here in the opening round of DTM, there is the champion, Rennie Rast, in car number 33, who at the moment, with his 132.587, is the best. Pascal Wehrlein returning, of course, to DTM from his Formula One racing.
Clear, René, you're clear. Cars all in the outlap. Behind you, Ericsson on ABM. In front of you, Ericsson on ABM.
So Rast being advised who's around him out there on track. Gary Pavitt quietly contemplating the final 5 minutes of this qualifying. Timo Glock, of course, on the podium for P3 in the race one yesterday. Gary Pavitt, of course, taking the win, and Lucas Auer taking P2.
Okay, Timo, you have a build and push lap, and I will keep you updated about traffic. There might be one or two BMW coming.
So Timo's engineer going to advise him throughout as to who's around, as Pascal Wehrlein awaits the release in the number 94 car. Finished the race P5 yesterday, and there our race winner from yesterday, Gary Pavitt. Spoke to Gary straight after the race yesterday. Absolutely thrilled with the wins, and of course I asked him whether it was ever more poignant in the final season, and he said very much so. Final season for Mercedes-Benz. Here comes Mike Rockenfeller, former champion then in car number 99, Not sure I've quite got used to the non-yellow livery, or sort of yellow and green livery that Mike Rockefeller for many, many years has had, as Gary Paffett, yesterday's race winner, makes his way out of the garage now and into the fast lane of the pits. And Paddock and heads out onto the track. Really leaving it till the very last minute, many of these DTM drivers, with just 3.5 minutes of this qualifying session remaining. He's finding space out there on the track. Gary Paffett has got Pascal Wehrlein ahead of him. It looked like Marco Wittmann that's going to be right behind him. And Jamie Green right behind the Marco Wittmann car. And Matthias Ekström then, the final 3 minutes of his final DTM qualifying session. Adieu, Matthias. And we're on board with him now. Don't cross the white line. Stays well within the white line. Accelerates away towards turn number 2, the right-hander here at Hockenheim, and dials into it. So for the moment, no one troubling that 132.587 from René Rast. But we run the clock on Philipp Eng now. So Philipp Eng then, who's had a remarkable motor racing career and now finds himself in DTM as a rookie for this season. Young Austrian, who I've seen take many, many wins in various classes of racing that Philipp Eng has been in. A very talented driver indeed. Around the Parabolica, Timo Glock, who is warming up at the moment, does not hinder him. Daniel Juncadella has gone personal best through Sector 1, as you can see from the green indication. Timo behind Philipp Eng, weaving from side to side to generate the temperature into those tyres. Wehrlein's on an outlap, Paffett on an outlap. We've seen them, of course, leave the pit lane. So, Eng, Juncadella and Spengler. We put on graphics. And look at this, Joel Eriksson better than anyone through Sector 1. But this is Bruno Spengler that we're watching, but keeping our eyes on the timing screen as well, and on the graphics that are at the bottom of your screen, because Joel Eriksson through Sector 1 is quicker than anybody. A rookie into DTM this year. Philipp Eng crosses the timing line, and he's 14th fastest. Bruno Spengler with a 1:33.003. And there is the Bruno Spengler car. So Joel Eriksson, better than anyone in Sector 1. Personal best through Sector 2. If he can dial it all in and get a very, very good Sector 3, this will advance him from his current P16 position in qualifying. We're on board with René Rast now, who's the current provisional P1. But we're keeping our eyes on the graphics at the bottom of this screen there as Joel Eriksson is heading towards the timing line, and he goes P2. Just a 2/100th slower than René Rast. That's a remarkable qualifying performance from Joel Eriksson. So I hope you'll forgive me for keeping an eye on that graphic, because you could see that Joel Eriksson was on a very hot lap indeed. Splitter cam now on Timo Glock's car. And Glock now is on a fast one. PB through Sector 1. Quicker than anyone through Sector 2. It all ramps up with just seconds left. Paul di Resta, is he going to be able to cross the line and be able to get another lap in? It was just as it went to 0. It's P3 for Paul di Resta with a 1:32.657. We're on board with Timo Glock then, as he heads to break the timing beam now. He was P13. Timo Glock now goes to P1, a 1:32.379. A full 2/10 is taken out of the previous best from René Rast. Here comes Lucas Auer. Eduardo Mortara's on a hot one as well. So what can Lucas Auer do? From P14, Lucas Auer goes to P4. Here comes Eduardo Mortara. So Edo was P8. Eduardo Mortara goes to P4 and relegates Lucas Auer. So it's Glock, Rast, Eriksson, Mortara, Auer at the moment. Here is Timo Glock then, with a 1:32.379. Look at him. The margin between Timo Glock and René Rast in DTM terms is huge. It's 2/10. Robin Friends then P15. Gary Paffett. Well, the first sector was not brilliant. Second sector was a PB. It's a 1:32.881 for Gary Paffett. It means a P10 start for him because cannot run again. Wow, Timo Glock. 1:32.379. What a star you are as Timo flies almost the BMW around this Hockenheim circuit. So it's Glock, Rast, and
skills, but congratulations, another 3 points.
Critical point that the engineer has made. Gary Paffett leads the points on 28. 25,
Oh, we
of
did
course.
it together, mate. We did it together. It's a team. I am only driving the car you give me.
Well done, Timo, supporting the team, and he's right. So, 25 points for the race win, but you get 3 points if you're P1 in qualifying, 2 points if you're P2, and 1 point if you're P1. So,
by the way, Rast is P2 and Joel is on P3, so very good. Marco is P8 and Augusto P13, just to finish a bit.
Rennie Rast there straight away over to congratulate Timo Glock. What a performance from Joel Eriksson, the rookie, P3 with a 1:32.613. So the top three then, Glock, Rast, Eriksson, then it's Mortara, Auer, De Resta, Junkadea, Wittmann, Rockenfeller, and Gary Paffett. Race winner from yesterday, going from P10. You'll recall what I said about you cannot look at the results of race one and for that to give you an indicational form guide for race two. There, Rennie Rast, one of the very first to go and congratulate Timo Glock. And Joel Eriksson, a brilliant performance. So drivers all being weighed. So Glock, Rast, Eriksson, and Mortara will occupy the front rows. And Timo Glock pretty happy with his performance in qualifying, and so he should be as well. Here comes confirmation then. Timo Glock will go from P1, with Rennie Rast, the champion, going from P2. Then it's Joel Eriksson, Eduardo Mortara, Lucas Auer, Paul De Resta, Daniel Junkadea, Marco Wittmann, Mike Rockenfeller, and Gary Paffett rounding out the first 5 rows of the grid. Then we find Pascal Wehrlein, Loic Duval, Augusto Farfus, Bruno Spengler, Robin Friends, Nico Muller, Jamie Green, Philip Eng, and Matthias Ekström in his final DTM race will be going from the back of the grid and will need to call on all the Matthias magic to elevate himself through the pack of cars ahead of him. So in discussions there, Timo Glock and Rennie Rast and Joel Eriksson as well. Another very dramatic qualifying session, but still cannot get over the difference between the two times. Timo Glock, a 1:32.379, a 1:32.587 for Rennie Rast. So Joel Eriksson to your left, Timo Glock in the middle, and Rennie Rast to the outside as the photographs are taken by the focus of the world's media here at DTM Hockenheim. Well, what we can do is say that the scene is set for what hopefully will be another fantastic race to come. This afternoon, we will be live from Hockenheim with Timo Glock going from pole position for the 55-minute race.